Welcome to the Lyster Health Talks podcast. Each month, listen in as the team focuses their discussion on relevant, relatable health content that empowers your health and the readiness of the force. Today, we're sharing a truly special story, the experiences of staff members who have a deeply personal connection to Lyster Army Health Clinic. They weren't just hired here, some were born here or had their children here. We'll explore what it means to them to grow up in these hallways, to see the hospital evolve into a clinic, and ultimately choose to dedicate their lives to serving others within the same community that brought them into the world. Let's jump right in with this special episode.
Welcome to this month's episode of Lyster Health Talks. I'm your host, Lieutenant Colonel Leah Steder, the Commander and Director of Lyster Army Health Clinic. Today, we're celebrating something really special. Some of our teammates didn't just find their careers here, they began their lives here. That's right, born right here at Lyster when we were a hospital. And now back, wearing the uniform or the badge, serving the next generation of soldiers and families. We're bringing those voices into the room today, not just to hear birth stories, but to hear what it feels like to come full circle, to stand in the same halls where your life began, and to make a difference for others. This is more than history, it's legacy, and we can't wait for you to hear it. Lyster has been here for generations, and today we're sitting with living proof of that legacy. It really shows that this place isn't just a clinic, it's part of people's lives. I'm going to let today's guests introduce themselves for the show. So I'm going to start with Dr. Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kelsey Hamilton. I'm one of the audiologists here. I've been here for about a year, and I'm very excited to be back.
I'm Pam Rhodes. I'm an LPN, and I work with Team Respect, which is aviation clinic, and I've been here a little over a year as well.
I'm Dr. Tony Franklin. I work in the Department of Behavioral Health. I'm also affiliated still with primary care as their behavioral health consultant.
Hello, my name is Maxine Williams, and I work for referral management here at Lyster Army Health Clinic. I've been here for 17 years, and part of my job is doing the referrals, getting all medical records uploaded.
Hi, my name is Katy Edwards. I work in the Eye and Ear Clinic, and I've been here 17 years.
And if you're a recent aviator, all of you see Miss Edwards during your ruckers on Wednesday and Thursday. She is the woman manning that desk and directing you where to go, holding it down. Thank you for joining today. Dr. Franklin, you weren't born at Lyster, but you still have an amazing connection. Could you share your story with our listeners?
I was not born here, no, but I came when I was 3 months old. My brother and sisters were born here. I was not. I was born in Georgia, but they were all born at Lyster. I remember Lyster when it was the old white barracks building in the woods. Down there where all the trees are now. But that was a sprawling complex of just white buildings, some two-story, some one-story with all these connectors. It was amazing. It was massive. And then I remember when they built this facility. You know, I was just a young kid. My dad was a sergeant at the time, staff sergeant. We lived at 42 Epps Drive. I still remember it. And all of a sudden they built this beautiful complex. And my other brother and sister were born in this building, you know. But yeah, I came here in the dark ages back in 54. And, it was very different then. It was Camp Rucker back in the day. And it later became Fort Rucker. When I was here back in the 70s and the early 80s, it was called the Aeromedical Center, in school. Of course, we had the aviation medicine was under us. And it was a hospital. I mean, we had wards, we had labor and delivery. I mean, we had everything, and it was a fully equipped emergency room, and so back then it was, in fact, a hospital, but it was called the Aeromedical Center. So I think they classified it as a medical center because at the time we were probably the best trauma center in the whole region. So, we probably the biggest composite of medical staff. But I think we had somewhere around 300 to almost 400 people here, and that mixture, of course, civilian and military. And it was certainly a lot different than it is now. Now we have, it's the health clinic. We no longer have the emergency room. And it was kind of surreal for me because when I came back, my office was a clinic in the ER. Now it's been modified and it doesn't look different. But the behavioral health area where that awning is, that was where the ambulances came in. So it was kind of weird to walk around and see everything and how it is now. And now I'm sitting in behavioral health. I come through that door every day. It was an emergency room back then. It was a hospital with all the capabilities you would think. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, a lot's changed, but such is life. Things change.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin. You've certainly seen a lot of changes throughout the years here at Lyster and Fort Rucker.
Yeah, when you think about it, we were certainly a bigger complex back then, and now we're a health clinic. Primary care, we've got physical therapy, we've got occupational health, we've got behavioral health. I mean, we've got all the big players that you would find in a larger health clinic. But our mission is the same. We conserve the fighting strength. We, as our motto says, we keep them in the air. Our care keeps them in the air. That hasn't changed. We did the same thing back then. Our mission was to take care of soldiers, take care of aviators, take care of aviation students, take care of the pilots, the IPs, the people that kept this going. But it requires that we have to do a lot of taking care of the people to keep this thing running and keep it going. So if you look at that, it was the same thing back then as it is now. Now we might be smaller. We might not have an ER anymore. We might not have all the wards that were up there where the VA is hanging out. But here's the thing. Our mission has not changed. We conserve the fighting strength, and we care for these aviators and these aviation maintainers so we can keep those big birds up in the sky.
And thank you. And I know you're jealous that you're no longer in your old office. So, Pam, if you want to tell us a little bit about your journey. We started you here at Lyster and brought you back.
My journey started at Lyster when my firstborn, Chris, who is, I better not tell his age, but anyway, he was my firstborn upstairs when it was OBGYN. I had him up there, had great care. That's what started the journey here, and was married to a military guy, and so Chris spent a lot of his pediatric days in this clinic as well. What brought me back was a part of that. Just always felt connected. Even being in the civilian community, I've always felt a connection here because it started here as a young mom, young wife, and just wanted to be a part of it.
You tried multiple times to get back here because we don't have a lot of turnover rate here.
No, you don't. I tried several interviews, and 3 or 4 times probably that I had to interview for a position. So my advice would be don't give up. If you want the position out at Lyster, keep going, keep trying, keep plugging along, because that job that you thought was perfect for you might not be exactly where you needed to be at that particular time, and it will come open and you will get there. Because I did.
Yes, and you work in the heart of the clinic in the aviation section.
I would work in the heart. That heart beats strong every day. We take care of a lot of aviators, take care of their flight status, if they get sick, if they need medicines, if they need referrals. We do anything we can to keep them happy and keep them up in the air flying. And that's our purpose, to do that for them.
No, absolutely. All right, Kelsey, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey that brought you here? I know you weren't born here, but I know your dad, who I've met and spent lots of times in meetings. I met him before I met you.
Oh, yeah.
He was very proud of you to come here. But I know he was a pilot here. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you here?
Yep, absolutely. So I was actually a patient at Lyster while I was in utero up until about 36 weeks. And then my mom delivered me at Flowers Hospital. And luckily, they brought me home to Red Cloud Road here on Fort Rucker. But I want to just say that the third time is the charm. So I was a military brat. So at about 3 months old, we moved somewhere else. Moved all over the place, of course. And then when I was in 7th grade, we luckily got to come back to Fort Rucker. So I was here for middle school, high school. Then I went to South Alabama and Auburn for college, and then third time's the charm. So I applied to get this position that opened up at Lyster, and here I am. So I'm happy to be home.
Good. I think the other half of the room, you probably just said something they don't like.
Yes. War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
Eagle.
War Eagle.
I am noticing a theme though with both you and Pam. Lister didn't just care for you or your children; it brought you back here to serve.
Yes.
Yes.
So having a dad that was in aviation, pretty much a full circle moment for me. Now, helping take care of other aviators and everything that goes into that. Preaching about hearing protection and how important it is when you're around aircraft and all kinds of things. It's a pretty cool job, really.
Very nice. Now, our other two guests today were actually born at Lister, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
Other two guests were actually born within the halls of Lister. Katy, do you want to, since you're older, and I'm the oldest as well, so I firmly believe we're the best. The oldest children.
Right, that's right.
But do you want to tell us a little about your journey and what brought you here?
Well, I was actually born in the old hospital in the 60s. I can remember coming out here as a teenager when the pharmacy was in the front of the hospital. When you came through the front door, then you had the immunizations. Went on down the hall, then you had the emergency room. So I remember that very fondly because we used to play on the bars outside. It was really cool.
And then, have you always worked here, or what brought you back here for work?
Oh, no. I started back in 2008, so I've been here since. I love what I do, though. I really do.
Very, very nice. Do you remember the old hospital at all?
No, just from pictures.
And then, Maxine, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yes. Also, I was born at the older hospital. I do remember the hospital, coming out here as a young girl, coming into the hospital, getting care, shots, with my mom bringing us out here, getting shots. Like my sister said earlier, where the pharmacy was, where ER was. We used to come a lot to the ER. I had surgery here. I also have only been here, of course, 17 years, and I didn't start here. I tried 10 years to get to Lister to work. And
you just said something very interesting. You said sister.
Yes, Katy Edwards is my sister. She's my oldest sister and only sister.
Oh, very nice. It's we actually have a lot of family members that work here, either multiple siblings, multiple husband and wives, multiple parents and children. Mm-hmm. It's very much, Lister is more than a workplace. It's definitely a family. It's a very tight-knit community, and all of you have said it's taken you a long time to get into Lister in particular. Mm-hmm. This organization has one of the lowest turnover rates of many MTFs within DHA, which is nice. It's ultimately about the community that Lister brings, as well as the Wiregrass area, quite frankly. It was one of the things I most noticed about the facility when I arrived. You both said you've been here about 17 years. Who started working here first?
I did.
Did you get her job?
Well, actually, we've always worked the same job.
Always.
I can remember the day that I got the call to come for an interview, and I like to jump through the roof. I was so happy. Mm-hmm. I started in July 8th of 2008.
Most of our work career has been, we've always worked together. From the nursing home in Enterprise for 30 plus years, and then we applied here together, started our application together, and she got her call, and 2 or 3 days later I got a call. So we were extremely excited to come back home to our place. We've always been here, but to come home to say that we're working somewhere we were born.
Have you guys ever worked in the same department?
Just for a minute. Was aviation medicine.
Yep. We worked in aviation medicine together, and Mr. Salas was actually our boss.
Yeah, Mr. Salas was actually our boss.
Love him to death.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys ever fight at work?
No, actually, we get along since we become adults. We get along.
My sister and I would kill each other if we worked together.
Really?
Still, as an adult.
Really?
Oh, yes.
We are real close. Now, you said a kid. Oh, man, we tore up a whole lot of houses.
I've thoroughly enjoyed our time together today. Would anyone else like to share any parting comments before we wrap up the show?
In a way of closing, I would probably have to say what a great honor it is to be back here, to walk these halls again. I've walked them as a patient. I walked them as a commander. I walked them as an adjutant. I walked them as a father of children that I've taken here. And it's almost an out-of-body experience sometimes, because you can't imagine that you've been given this opportunity. I started here in 1954, 3 months old, just an infant. Back then, it was nothing but white buildings, dirt roads, gravel roads. I watched this transition all these years. Every time we'd go and come back, it would be different, and it would get bigger, and then there would be replacement. And then, it was almost sad when I remember them knocking down the last white 2-story building. That to me was a sad occasion because I remembered all that. But of course, onward and upward. But to think that you almost started your life here, as an infant, and your dad's assignments, your assignments, coming back and retiring here, having the privilege of being served by this community, and then in my twilight years, I get an opportunity to come back and be of service to all of our patrons. I don't think you could design a better retirement gig than the one I've got. They've asked me, well, how long are you going to stay here? And I always tell them, I say, well, till y'all kick me out. When they kick me to the curb, I just guess I'll go home, get my puppy dogs, and go pier fishing. But until then, I'm gonna be here serving soldiers, serving these aviators, serving dependents and retirees, all of the people that come here that need our help. And I believe that as most that are here, that we have an absolutely amazing family. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it was like this back then. We were bigger. I think we were more distant. People were in their little sectors. And, they kind of knew who was there, but they didn't know. We know everybody here. It's that family atmosphere that I don't think you get that in many places. But we have wonderful people, very capable people, and very caring providers. I just can't tell the Colonel enough how happy I am to be here, and I think I'm going to stay until the cows come home. I believe. I think that about does it.
But thank you all for joining today. It's been an honor to sit with all of you. And ultimately, you guys prove that Lyster is more than just a clinic. It's a legacy. Your stories remind us that Lyster doesn't just take care of people. It keeps them connected for life. Thank you all for joining today. This has been one of the funnest podcasts we've done, and love to hear all of your stories.
That was fun.
What we heard today is more than just a set of birth stories. It's proof that Lyster is bigger than a clinic. It's a place where life begins and where purpose brings people back. To everyone who shared their journey today, thank you for showing us what it truly means to be part of the Lyster family. Born at Lyster, working at Lyster, serving at Lyster, that says it all. Until next time, Fort Rucker, our care keeps them in the air.
Thank you for listening to Lyster Health Talks, the podcast dedicated to keeping you and your team healthy and mission ready. Stay healthy, Fort Rucker.